Hello everyone, and welcome. In today's video, we're exploring the devastating story of how corruption, family power, and poor economic decisions pushed Sri Lanka to the brink. How did a single family, the Rajapaksas, gain control of Sri Lanka, drain its economy, and plunge it into chaos? And now, with a new president in power, can Sri Lanka ever recover from this crisis? The Rajapaksa family's rise to power is a classic story of a political dynasty. Mahinda Rajapaksa became president in 2005, and soon key government roles were filled by his family members. Four brothers, sons, nephews, all holding positions of influence in Sri Lanka's political, economic, and defense sectors. But with this power came corruption on a massive scale, with billions of dollars allegedly siphoned into family coffers through secret deals and backdoor agreements. One of the most controversial aspects of the Rajapaksa era was the secretive control over government contracts. Numerous reports indicate that government contracts were often awarded to companies owned by or linked to the Rajapaksas. Large infrastructure projects, like the Hambantota port, were riddled with backdoor dealings. This project alone saddled Sri Lanka with nearly $1.4 billion in debt, with much of the money reportedly misappropriated. The Rajapaksa family is accused of pocketing massive sums from these projects, ultimately leaving the people of Sri Lanka to shoulder the debt. The Hambantota port, meant to be a symbol of Sri Lanka's economic potential, instead became a financial black hole. After failing to generate any significant revenue, the port was leased to China for 99 years, essentially ceding control of Sri Lankan territory due to the mounting debt. While Sri Lankans struggled with rising living costs, the Rajapaksas reportedly lived in luxury. According to sources, the family used public funds for personal expenses, everything from luxury residences to extravagant state banquets. There were even reports of Mahinda Rajapaksa's sons flying in international chefs to prepare exclusive meals, all while ordinary citizens faced food shortages and skyrocketing prices. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who became president in 2019, promised to reform and revive the economy, but instead he doubled down on tax cuts that benefited the wealthy and reduced government income by nearly 30%, effectively draining the country's reserves. These policies, combined with rampant corruption, left Sri Lanka financially crippled by early 2022. As the COVID-19 pandemic hit, it exposed the government's financial mismanagement. Sri Lanka received millions in aid and loans meant to support the economy and healthcare systems during the pandemic. However, reports suggest that these funds were poorly allocated, with allegations that significant amounts disappeared without accountability. The healthcare system crumbled under the weight of mismanagement, and critical supplies ran out, all while the Rajapaksas allegedly continued to accumulate wealth. These acts of corruption, secrecy, and selfishness led to massive public outrage. By 2022, protests erupted across the nation as people demanded accountability and answers from the Rajapaksa government. The slogans of the protesters, like "Where is our money?" and "Down with corruption," underscored the frustration felt by millions of Sri Lankans. People had simply had enough. Under intense pressure, Gotabaya Rajapaksa fled Sri Lanka in July 2022. This marked the end of direct Rajapaksa control, but the damage was done. The country had been economically drained and morally defeated, all in the name of one family's self-interest. Now in 2024, Sri Lanka has a new president, Dissanayake, who promises to bring an era of transparency and reform. However, the road to recovery won't be easy. The government is working with international organizations, including the IMF, to tackle Sri Lanka's enormous debt burden and stabilize the economy. Dissanayake has vowed to prioritize public needs over personal gain, but he faces the massive task of restoring trust and reversing the Rajapaksa damage. So, what does this mean for the future of Sri Lanka? Can Dissanayake break the cycle of corruption and restore stability? For many Sri Lankans, this election is a second chance, a chance to rebuild not only their economy, but also their faith in government. The new administration's success will depend on its commitment to transparency, accountability, and economic sustainability. Sri Lanka's collapse has sent ripples across South Asia, serving as a stark warning about the dangers of unchecked political power and corruption. Neighboring countries are watching closely, mindful of the political and economic instability that could follow if similar mistakes are made. For the region, Sri Lanka's situation is a reminder of the importance of responsible governance, economic diversification, and above all, accountability. Without these, any country, no matter how promising, can fall into ruin. Thank you for watching. This story of the Rajapaksa dynasty shows how political power, when abused, can devastate an entire nation. What do you think? Can Sri Lanka recover under new leadership? And will South Asia learn from Sri Lanka's crisis? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it insightful.